Picture, if you will, an old New England farmhouse in the early 1800s. And on that farm is a man that would forever change the face of live entertainment in a young country that had yet to truly realize the value of spectacle. Long before coast-to-coast radio, movies, in those days we called them talkies, television, the internet, the downfall of person kind that is social media, and finally the nail in the coffin that is podcasting, our options were quite limited for entertainment. So we tell the story of Elkna Watson, who was in Pittsfield, Mass., a market I have played only once due to an unfortunate joke about the filthy Irish that populate the area with their broad shoulders and square heads, perfect for farm labor and domestic violence. The Mexican side of me wrote this intro.
Wow.
Watson had a farm, and on that farm, Watson had sheep. Beautiful sheep. Watson, who may or may not have had a romantic relationship with these sheep. Who am I kidding? It wasn't romance. Oh. It was just lust. Lust for that sweet, sweet sheep pussy.
All right.
But this is not like a Nabokov's Lolita. Good, clean fun is what this is. Watson would become known to bring the sheep into a square in town, and crowds would become enormous to see shearing demonstrations and informative speeches about agriculture. And after the women and the children went home, the men would do unspeakable things to these animals.
No, they wouldn't.
Things you only see at the freakiest of German metal shows. But despite the interspecies sex, it became quite a tradition, and shortly thereafter, the Berkshire agricultural community was born, informing people about agriculture while displaying farm animals as an attraction. Soon, more and more vendors and events, games, and rides were added to the fair, and your modern fair was born as we know it today. That's right, meth heads running rides like the Christ Violator, deep-fried Oreos covered in duck fat, and dirt bike riders in steel cages jousting one another were all spawned from one man wanting to shear, share, and fuck his sheep. Or he just saw a way to promote inform people about agriculture. Either way, this week on No Accounting for Taste, we're talking about the only place you can finger atop a Ferris wheel and eat a funnel cake. That's right, today on the pod, we're talking about state fairs.
Hal, you're good with words. You know that, man?
I think the gym is dumb.
Did Rachel walk in the room? Of course I've eaten a Baconator.
Man, if you ain't doing CrossFit, you can get crossed up.
You're right. A long burger's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's your sitcom right there as a Mr. Fix-It-All who just can't fix his heart.
We will not be defending Atlantic City.
No accounting for taste. If it's something that somebody loves, let's try and celebrate it instead of shitting on it. First off, there's a lot of permanent Ferris wheels you can finger atop of. Navy Pier. The Egg in isn't that the one in London?
I don't know. I'm not up to. Hi, Kyle. Welcome to the pod, everyone. Let's start.
It's not called fingering in London. It's called jostling the undercarriage.
Well,
it's called.
Reading about state fairs, a few undercarriages have been jostled and resulted in some tragedies.
This is state fairs, Shane. This isn't going to be difficult at all to defend.
I know. I think you and I are both on the same page in that state fairs kick fucking ass.
Yeah, cultural and agricultural hubs of a community.
Yeah, promoting small businesses at the same time too. It's kind of
You have Texas State Fair. You ever go?
Buddy, did I go or did I fucking go and kick ass at it and crush? I had a lot of fun at Texas State Fair.
Okay, well, given just how you describe state fairs, what does that mean by kicking ass at one? I fucked all the animals. What did you do, Shane?
I ran around like any 9-year-old kid is supposed to do at a state fair and go absolutely fucking nuts with the $20 or whatever it was that my parents gave me to be out of their hair for a few hours, you know?
Yeah.
And I loved every bit of it. Even then, I was a bargainer. Like, cause you'd have to buy tickets to go into attractions or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be like, I remember this one, this is a real deal one. That dirt bike riding thing I said in the intro is true. There was like this steel circular cage. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Globe of Death. Yeah, the Globe of Death.
Okay, I gave the guy. I was like, "Here's he was like, it's like 2 tickets or whatever to come in." However they were doing it, and I was like, "Okay." And then I went in and I saw like one guy ride, and then it was over. He just let me in, even though it was ending, and he took it. And I was like, I went back to him. I was like, this is like, no, I'm staying for the next one. Like I'm not. Yeah. And he was like, fine, whatever. Like he was just a fucking carny prick. But even then.
Yeah, if there's anywhere that the economy is rather loose, I'm going to say the state fair. I think everything's
it's
negotiable
like
at a state
businesses
fair.
and state fairs. Yeah.
Nobody, I want to meet the accountant for the state fair. That's like, well, where are the receipts for all these Chinese-made stuffed animals filled with the remains of slave labor? Like where?
Well, just like think about like just the way they can write off fuel. It's like, hey, we have to put gas. Like you just lie, like we have to put gas in all these generators, and they're like, this is like they're not spending money on this. I bet they fucking steal left and right. It's probably awesome.
Yes, I think they steal left. They're criminals. You don't join the carnival circuit because things are going swimmingly and you've educated yourself and have skills applicable to decent society. It's like, well, I knocked up another cousin. Time to jump on the bus.
I got to go to the big city of Chattanooga or whatever.
And let's be honest, let's not go throwing all these carnival workers under the bus as if what we do isn't some we're slight deviation.
We're carnival barkers with roofs instead of tents.
Yeah. We guys slightly figured out how to
we're
get
not
better
too
paid.
far ahead of them, if ahead at all. I do know one.
A carny,
yeah.
What do they prefer? What term do they prefer?
I don't know him that well. I knew him when his name was Brett. I knew him when I was 16.
That's it? Just Brett?
Well, I don't want to say his last name just in case he's wanted.
Well, no, but I thought they all had to have nicknames like Scaly Brett.
Oh, maybe. I don't like. Maybe that's like kind of a major league thing. He like, as far as I know, I don't know if he's still doing it, but he already had a face tattoo when we were like 16.
Crusty Dan. Really?
Yeah, he was already like.
Oh man,
he was already pretty in to this, like going this route.
How disappointing for people that got OG face tattoos to look scary as fuck, and now it's like, oh, now you're a rapper that sings about your emotions. Yeah. We were at a bar over here. This person might have been a carny, but we're drinking at this bar, Rachel and I, and she's like, I don't know if that's some human trafficking going on behind us, because there was clearly a child playing pool. I'm like, well, we look over, it's a very young looking, and I'm like, well, it's obviously a child. And Rachel goes, well, she's got a face tattoo. And then Rachel's trying to pretend to take a picture of me, but to get a picture of this girl, she's like, just in case they need evidence.
You guys suck.
And then she takes a picture, and we zoom in on it, and the girl is looking at a mirror on the wall behind me, directly at Rachel taking the picture.
Oh, you shouldn't have played their game.
Put the phone down. Put the phone down.
You shouldn't have played their game, man. That's like you can't. A carny's gonna know if someone's secretly taking a picture.
I almost got stabbed. Why
didn't you just go shoot basketball with them, like, and bet $5 that you can make a shot?
I fell for this. The one and only like out of state gig my band ever played. We knew some guys in like North Carolina that we went down there to play a skate park, and we were staying at my buddy's house, and he had carny neighbors that came over to drink. So we're all just like up late drinking in this house, and the carny neighbors just like trying to do like, it's like, I'll do the same game if I get it right. He goes, what's half of 13? I'm like, I'll bet you all the money in the world I know what half of 13 is. I'm like, it's 6.5.
Yeah.
Like, wrong. It's 6. I'm like, tell me how your small little brain comes up with 6.
Everyone pause right now listening to this and just listen to the point I'm about to make, and that is,
I know.
How engaged am I already? 100%. Like,
the fact that I thought I was going to win to a guy that had an answer for each outcome. But his answer, like, he draws 13 dots on a sheet of paper, and then he goes, well, that's the middle one, so that one doesn't count. So what's on this side? What's on that side? 6 on this side.
He just said one of them doesn't count.
The one in the middle doesn't count because it's in half. I'm like, I'm not giving you any of my money. And then like, there's a moment that night where like one guy had a knife out, but it was behind his back, and we were behind him, and our drummer was being a smart mouth to him, but we saw him holding a knife behind his back. We're like, stop smart mouthing this guy. And then the guy who lived there, he's like, he was just having fun with you. I'm like, nobody has fun threatening to stab somebody else except for carnies.
Yeah, he's like, you guys want to play the adult game, and he does the alien with the knife on the hand thing.
It was that I wound up driving to get us more beer. We're all drunk, and I was underage, or I was driving with somebody, and we were teenagers, and there's like we saw a car in a ditch, and these kids are like, let's go check it out. I'm like, there's cops there helping them. We're all underage and drunk. Let's not go check it out. It was a wild run. Anyway,
but that's like poor people fun. Poor people fun is sticking,
running from the cops. I don't know if they were particular. They seem like they would have found work in the carnival circuit. I've had a good time I'm lumping in county fairs and town
I'm doing this
festivals
all together. This is all like county fairs, state fairs, carnival, like whatever, like a holiday fair, even like in Little Italy they do like the Feast of Saint Genovese or whatever it's called, and that's like a fair, and they do food. Yeah, it's the same thing.
We were in Rachel and I were in Paris over Christmas a few years ago, and they had some sort of Christmas fair, but clearly one of the rides was just a Halloween ride. It was like a Michael Jackson Thriller ride with zombies, and they just put Christmas hats on all the animatronic ghouls. They're like, look, now it's Christmas, how you say?
Hey, it's a Christmas. That's a bad French accent, but
yeah, I couldn't figure out what I was doing. But yeah, like I like that. Like now it's Christmas. Look, we put jingle bells on the goblins.
Have you? Do you have a specific memory at state fairs that like stands out? Anything like games, food, rides?
Several.
Okay,
several.
Give me the highlights, please.
Okay,
we'll go back and forth.
It was mostly we'd go to Taste of Melrose Park was the big one growing up.
Okay.
Mostly Italian by default festival. Big thing in Chicago was who had the best Blues Brother impersonators showing up. That was always was huge.
That's awesome.
And there was competing ones, and my mom would always like, they're getting the it was like BLOOZ or the Bruise Brothers. They couldn't step on each other's names because they had their followings as Blues Brothers impersonated. Like I remember the one like, they even have the fake cop car that brings them in. Like
That's
the old
pretty
70s
great.
cop car, and they would do the whole thing.
We're going to talk about this later, but I love the regionalness of some of the state fair. Like what you have to look forward to is like the Chicago for the Blues Brothers. But keep going.
That was a big one. I remember Itasca, the Itasca Town Fair. I rode the Zipper. 2 summers in a row I rode the Zipper. 2 summers in a row I threw up. One time, my buddy Joe, his family owned a deli, so they had a booth there doing sandwiches and stuff. And so we went on the Zipper. The Zipper is like, you're not sitting or standing. It's this weird kind of perched position that you're locked into.
But you're in like a swing kind of thing?
You're in a cage.
Okay.
And so the cage twirls like the spindle would be like your hips. It twirls at that area.
Okay.
Then it goes around like a circuit, like a long circuit. So the cages that are twirling are going around a long circuit, and then that circuit is also twirling.
Oh my God.
So you're three kinds of twirling is happening.
So it's like when you see a helicopter go into a tailspin and it's also rotating upside in 360 degrees.
Yeah, everything was bad. None of these rides, nobody who designed these rides ever rode these rides.
No, they were just like
it's
that'd
like
be
the
badass.
they're like electric chair failures. They're like nobody's going to test the electric chair. They probably threw some monkeys in them and watched them perish, and they're like good enough for a state fair.
Yeah.
So the first time I went, my buddy was driving. His mom was driving us home, and I think I don't think she liked me, and she hit all the bumps on the way home. And I came home, I threw up after the Zipper. Next year, I went back with my buddy Scott. I think it was though. I think it was because she was like hitting all these bumps. I'm like, I know where the bumps are on this road. So do you, lady. You live in this town. You're hitting all of them. Went back the next year.
I love that you like. By the way, the fact you're holding a pen while you're talking about this, I can't.
Sorry,
you can't see this on YouTube. You are so indignant, seeming, but it's clearly a pen you stole from an auto shop or something. It's not like a nice one.
Stolen from Denver Relief is actually, which I don't remember getting a pen from a weed shop in Denver, but it's here anyway.
Yeah.
Also, no, because that first one, that's when I was with my buddy Joe. They miscounted when we were supposed to get off the ride. So they let us go like a couple times on it, like far past
You kind of hit
far past the recommended
you were like,
dosage.
I was only supposed to pull 8 Gs and now I'm pulling 10 kind of like.
I was probably ready to be an astronaut after that because I lived. And at one point, I remember like it broke. A guy like climbed up the middle of it to like fix the ride. I mean, it seems like I remember him like just eating out like a screwdriver or duct tape in his mouth or something, climbing up the middle of the thing.
Oh,
and then the other time I went,
and
that
guy does not have sleeves. I know that.
No, I got torn off by the ride. You know, that's why it's a hazard to wear sleeves in the carnival. That's why they don't have them. It's hazardous.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why you don't. Yeah, you don't have long hair either.
That machinery. Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, they still have the long hair, but the sleeves are hazardous. But then I went back and I went out with my buddy Scott and I barfed, but then still I think I was like in 8th grade at that point, and still like met some. No, I was freshman in high school and met a girl after I threw up, which I thought that was probably one of the biggest player moves I've ever had in my life.
You. Player moves.
Yeah.
You met a gal, huh? You had a little country romance?
After barfing on a chain link fence. I'm like, what's the point of what am I hiding? It's a chain link fence. Everybody on the other side of this can see what I'm doing. No. But I do remember I think I borrowed a Blind Melon CD from her and never gave it back.
Blind Melon also sounds like a game that you can't win at a state fair. Oh, man.
Blind Melon. Guess what your dick's in?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's why they call it no rain, because they can't make any money if it's wet outside. I
got so many more. Oh, yeah.
I think the interesting thing about, like, one of the interesting things about the state fair is, like, they really make you question your intelligence. Because, like, it's all, like, the games are all part of how these people look. Like, you look at these fucking dumb hicks going from town to town. You know, like, they don't, they're not smarter than me. So when you see some guy with no sleeves who's like, what's half a 13? You know, like, you're like, I know this. You know, maybe truly one of the dumbest times I've ever felt like it. I think it was 9, 10, maybe even 13. I lost a game of tic-tac-toe to a chicken at a state fair.
It's a game of chance. It truly is. It's truly who gets the first move.
The chicken got the first move.
Yeah, you're already done.
Yeah. And it's the way they had rigged it. Like, and, you know, I was like, because it was like, you can win, like,
the way they had rigged it. The way I lost this chicken fair and square.
Like playing it. It does sound like some kind of saying, like, man, you're dumber than a boy losing to a chicken at tic-tac-toe. But
all right, chicken, best 2 out of 3.
It would go first, and then you would go, but it would, like, there was a light corresponding on the inside of the coop it was in, and food would come out of that, and they would peck it. And then that would be like the obvious, like they just programmed these. So you'd have, like, I lost to an obese chicken, like, because
he knew what was up.
Yeah, it was.
But then what? Like, that's still prohibitive in nature. It's like, that chicken's too fat. Time to find the deep fryer. Like,
yeah.
The prize isn't.
If you really want to beat this thing, go over to the chicken finger stand tomorrow.
Yeah, the glory for the chicken is a sacrifice that you get to eat. You're gonna eat it later.
Pretty much. I loved it. Texas State Fair is like the biggest one, so it is like a real, you know, it's like a real spectacle there. It's like there's a lot.
Do you remember like the Coke mirrors? Like, that was the prize. Was just Coke mirrors.
You mean like
like mirrors with like Van Halen logos and Dio logos.
Oh,
that were all
okay.
just this big, like 3 inches by 3 inches.
And
it was just
vaguely
like,
I do.
I don't know what all these little mirrors are about. And then you look back, you're like, oh, it was all Coke mirrors.
Yeah.
This is
That
the 80s.
and
that I'm talking
also
about.
I remember like just like parents just rage filled because their kid would be like, and maybe I was one of these people who saw a keychain with their name on it, and they'd be like, "It's $10," and then someone's dad be like, "I'm pay $1 for the like money." That's the other thing. They remove currency from the situation and they determine it by tickets. It's like being in another country in some sense. You're like, is this enough? And you hope they give you back the right amount of money.
Yeah, you're gonna spend $30 to win a stuffed animal. Like I remember when it was like literally like a rolled up piece of scrap carpet with googly eyes on it. Like it's a worm. Like it's not. It's clearly
and it's still clearly fun.
It's asbestos that you removed from an aging elementary school that you've now repurposed into like this child's toy. I never played the game. I've always thought, like, even as a kid, I'm like, these games are scams. But if you could, like, if it was like a shoot the balloon with the gun thing, those were always fun.
Yeah, I mean that's
the
like
water gun things are fun.
A real treat to race somebody. And sometimes you would see somebody walking around with a fucking giant, like, panda bear or whatever, and you'd be like, "How the fuck did you win that?" And I feel like that person is a plant.
Probably. That's probably it. Go walk around with the big panda. We're losing money. Go walk around. Get two big pandas. Yeah. I need 2 big pandas on the fairway.
And then, like, and then people are like, that's a plant. And then they see somebody else walking with one. They're like, maybe not. Maybe I can beat this guy. Very sharp.
I never played, like, the basketball hoops one. I'm like, I can't do this with no pressure for free.
Yeah.
What am I going to embarrass myself around my schoolmates for and spend my allowance on this? So I will see you at the corn dog stand, my friends.
I play the basketball one. Did you ever see the movie Adventureland?
No.
I think you would actually like it. But it takes place at a theme park, and there's this amazing shot. It's Martin Starr and Jesse Eisenberg are in the scene, and they're looking at a basketball hoop straight on like you would be shooting at it, right? And it just looks normal. And then it shows a shot through the basketball hoop of them looking up at it, and it's all warped and oblong because somebody clearly just beat the shit out of it with a hammer. And and it's like, it's so fucking funny. I couldn't stop laughing the first time I saw it.
I feel like there is like a YouTube series that breaks down why those games are impossible. Like in the like, you know, the Forbidden Magician, or like the magician that was exposing all the magic tricks. Somebody was here's why these carnival games don't work. I'm like, I know they don't work, but I don't.
Oh no, the ring toss on the milk jug thing. You know that one?
Yeah,
that one. It's like it's infuriating.
I think it's more infuriating to know they've made just enough money to get to the next town to do it again.
You might be right. I also think, but you know how smug they are. Like there's always some guy being like, or someone being like, these rings won't fit over these milk jugs, and they're like, oh yeah, and then there's just some carny takes his finger like this, puts the ring over it, and he goes, fits. You're just not good at it.
Yeah, sorry.
I got to go back to my coal mining town in West Virginia.
I was always jealous of the dunk tank guys who are truly insulting.
That is probably you think that's the best gig?
I do, because those guys say a lot of wild shit.
I do like a guy who gets to guess weight too. Is
that's a risky one these days
for sure. But I mean, if you're going, but let's be honest, the crowd that's going to a state fair, most of them, if they're getting on if they're getting a guess away, yeah, you're kind of doing it to yourself. You don't go to Star Wars conventions and call everybody nerds, you know?
Yeah. I saw a new racket. We went to the county fair here last summer, and it's how long can you hang from just a bar?
Okay.
And people were like, why are they fall? Like, how? I feel like I could dangle for a long time. And then Rachel's like, what's the trick? Just went up when nobody's like, all right, what's the trick? And the bar is on ball bearings. So you're not just holding one bar that's stationary, it rolls. So your weight causes it to roll your hands back.
So you gotta
so that's
you gotta gear your hands for. Oh,
but you can't because your weight just brings your hands down to here. So you're hanging onto it like this. And it's like, oh, that's just. I feel like how pissed when you're like, oh, I'm going to win this $100 if I could hang on for it was like whatever, 30 seconds. And everybody's like, I can do 30 seconds. And you pay your $5 to try it. And as soon as you grab it, you're like, well, son of a bitch. They also had a psychic there too. That was cool.
Can you, that's it. Cause now this is how this shit works. Cause now I'm thinking about how could you beat that game even though it's fixed? And could you cause you can't do this way. Can you do this way? And kind of
no. You can't. No, every carnival game has to go through quality control. That if the carnies can beat it, then they're like, it's not going to make it. We're not giving it to the public.
You're right. I want to beat them, though. I want to beat the games.
That's the beauty of a carnival game is it makes you want that. It has to be enticing. Even it's just the lottery. It's just the low stakes lottery.
This is like for people who can't afford to bet on horses. Yeah.
I just want the food. Get me away from those shitty games. I just want the crazy snacks. We should get. Do you have any more wild stories? I've thrown up on rides. I've done all that stuff.
Nothing that really comes out that's worth talking about. I think we should just move over to some of the good and the bad. And
let's get it.
All right. We'll be right back with this, fuck me running. God damn. Why can't I ever do this right? We'll be right back after this ad, everybody.
Oh, welcome back to the good and the good of state fairs. Even the bad stuff's good to me.
Hey, buddy, you're not going to get any arguments out of me.
Simulated and real danger at a state fair.
Yeah, so we're rolling through. I think there's only one thing out of all the research Charlene got that I read that I'm kind of like, this is actually bad. And even that I think can be remedied. And
okay.
That is the animal care could probably stand to be better in some of these.
Okay, that one, yeah, that's
I love seeing the animals. I love seeing them, but I can't say like some of them did not look beat the fuck down when I went to a state fair. Like I'm sure there are better ways for them to do it. Like everything. I bet there are some people some fairs or traveling carnivals that do it well and they take care of the animals properly, and they're not just housing. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because I'm sure some are bad, but like I feel like one time I saw a snake that was missing an eye and it was still out there, which only made it more horrifying, like a Disney cartoon.
What, that was the attraction that it,
no, it was like it was
hold on. Let me rephrase what happened. You saw a one-eyed snake at the state fair?
All right, shut the fuck. That's I know what you're. I'm not going for this. I'm not taking it.
I think something else happened to you at that state fair.
Yeah. I was at the House of Reptiles.
Yeah, sure you were.
Are you done? You feel good right now?
The guy who ripped you off going to see the motorcycles and the Globe of Death was like, well, I'll tell you what, buddy. I'll show you my own personal House of Reptiles for free. I don't have a lot of reptiles. I just got one. That's a snake with one eye. Come back here. Come back behind the trailers. I'll show it to you.
Okay. I like the funnel cakes. How's that?
Then I ate sheep's balls. They were still stuck to the sheep. I won $20.
You feel pretty.
Texas, they do it different down there.
We do. We're the biggest one. And our mascot caught on fire.
Oh, Big Tex.
Yeah, man. I was many a year I walked by Big Tex as a child.
The images on YouTube of Big Tex, 55-foot State Fair of Texas was celebrating Big Tex. Oh, on his 60th birthday, no less.
And he would just, he just burned to death.
The smoke's just coming out of his neck hole.
Yeah, I wonder what, I don't know. Does it say what actually happened?
Well, according to the YouTube description here, State Fair of Texas was celebrating Big Tex's 60th birthday. Emergency scanner chatter, just a cool name, lit up around 10:30 a.m. with reports of a rather, in quotes, rather tall cowboy with all his clothes burned off. Every other call to 911 in Dallas, probably. Another voice chimed in soon after, confirming, "We got Big Tex on fire." Oh, poor Big Tex.
Oh, that was pretty sad. I bet there are some people who legitimately are sad about it.
I mean, 60 years you're going to see this guy. There's grandkids going, let me tell you about Big Tex. And then you watch him burn alive in front of you. Sure. Yeah. That's going to be sad.
That's it.
I like this story that in the highlight of California State Fair in the early 1900s were train crashes. They would just crash.
I didn't get to read that one.
Locomotives into each other.
Fuck it, it's like Demolition Derby, but
yeah, but just two trains crashing into each other. That's
what the fuck.
Hell yeah, I got no qualms.
You know,
there was the early 1900s
car wreck is hard enough.
They didn't clean it up. It was the early 1900s. They just heaped dirt on top of it and let kids sled off of it.
Oh, you're probably right. Okay, yeah.
I went to a water park that was built on a landfill in the 80s.
What?
There was a water park a couple towns over that we would go to that they finally had to close it down because it was built on a landfill. It's called Ebenezer Floppin' Sloppers.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Please get a T-shirt of that somewhere off the internet. Anyone, I would love for Kinane to have that for a Christmas gift.
Look it up, Ebenezer Floppin' Sloppers. Yeah. He may have been a doctor. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he got his degree.
You're right. Yeah, I guess they're like, as these things as state fairs have progressed over time, I would imagine that the safety measures that have come in are quite a bit more. Ebenezer's.
Charlene, you can go to it.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it's. I think
Charlene's
they may have
pulling
built
up a
it
Google
over
image search of it right now. Everybody, if so,
yeah, I think they may have built over it since these are like abandoned Atlas Obscura lets you shows you you can go creep around this place. It was an awesome water park as a kid too. They're like the tubes under the garbage would go. Yeah, it would be a loop. It was a slide that went underground and come out, but then the slide was not designed the right way. So if you were a kid, you just didn't have enough mass to get through it. So you'd stop, and they would just send other kids down, and there'd just be like a log jam of children popping out the end.
Oh,
lot of injuries.
That's fucking horrifying. Honestly,
yeah.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just the animal rights stuff. They make a very good point, and I'm sure there's some things they could be doing better to treat these things. But this all kind of started from a place that's it's from agriculture and farms, and people just these are not pets. These are tools.
Well, yeah, it came from you had World's Fairs, which was let's give people a chance to see what the rest of the world. You didn't have mass communication, even TV and radio. So here's a World's Fair to expose you to what in real life. Here's animals and people from different continents, also not treated very well. When you're just bringing people over as tourist attractions.
Very much so.
But then, so the state fair is the opportunity to do the same thing. Hey, city folk, here's what happens out in the farm. Hey, farm people, here's what they came up with in the city.
Yeah.
And at one point, and I can't find the article now, and I accidentally closed it out, but they had monkeys riding on the back of dogs.
That's the best. I saw that one. That one's called the, it's called what is it called? The banana something? Banana Derby. The Georgia State Fair is the only state fair with the Banana Derby, which essentially is a costume tiny monkey racing on the backs of dogs. And if you don't like that as an idea, you can go fuck yourself right to hell, because that brings me joy. And I think Carmel used to have a joke about it, and it was really fun. But
yeah, I
see that because they're getting bucked. The monkeys are really like hanging on to the.
I would want to know if the monkeys are enjoying themselves, because there was a time I first found out about it, because in the early days of the internet, the mid-aughts of YouTube.
Okay.
Before it was just this heinous, before social, everything was garbage. There was a commercial for Taco John's, and it was a monkey that was right on the back of a dog, and he was the mascot. And that brought me, like, that was the first moment of like streaming video outside of pornography where I'm like, this is magical. That there's a monkey on a dog. And the monkey seems to be like, he's not, I don't think he was affixed to the dog. I think it was of the monkey's own volition that he was on the dog.
You think so?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I don't really want to learn that it's not. I kind of want to learn that the monkeys are like, oh hell yeah, this is my friend who's a dog, and I'm gonna get on.
I'm gonna ride this other fur covered thing that's not me.
God, listen. We have to research this, but
of a chimp just being like an old jockey. It's just being like, get your ass back on that horse and race.
The name of the monkey was Whiplash.
Awesome.
And he's a capuchin monkey known for riding a border collie. Border collies, like, Whiplash. They got stats on him. Occupation, rodeo performer. Fuck yeah, Whiplash. Years active, 1999 to present. Height, 30 inches. No weight. They don't have weight for him though.
Oh yeah, well,
but Whiplash. He's got his own Wikipedia. Early life. What's the early life of a capuchin monkey? He's a fucking monkey. What do you think? He went to college but dropped out to ride dogs? He's a monkey, and then the monkey became the thing. Animal trainer Tommy Lucia purchased Whiplash as a baby from the widow of an animal enthusiast in Miami, Florida. Just say drug dealer. As Lucia raised the young monkey, he introduced him to balancing on a saddle, then to the family's dogs. Over time, the dogs became used to carrying the capuchin monkey. This is everything I want to hear. The monkey wants to be on top of the dogs. Many articles.
I hope that's exactly how it went down, because otherwise, the other way of getting this done is very dark.
An article that I cannot link through, it doesn't exist, but with this, smallest cowboy knighted. That means he received an honor as a monkey. But now the click through, it says the page isn't found, and that's
but the monkey he received an honor like cowboys receive.
I didn't know that united cowboys.
I mean, I guess.
Also, don't state fairs have rodeos? So this plays in.
Oh, Charlene just threw something in the chat here. Let's see what this says. From D Magazine. Monkey gets...
he got knighted.
Yeah, how can you not like state fairs hearing shit like this? Oh, this is from my hometown. Oh, shit.
There you go.
I wrote about the Fort Worth Stockyard Show rodeo, in particular Whiplash, the dog riding. Yeah. He's in St. Paul, about to be knighted. Fucking sick. Good for him. Way to achieve. This is like this monkey. I mean, this monkey is like Rudy or something. It's great. Living big dreams.
But this monkey's town, it's not like, oh, good for you. It's like the monkey's good at what he's doing.
Yeah. He's got to.
Rudy is just like, oh, we feel sorry for this dork.
Yeah. Okay. The monkey is a better natural athlete than Rudy.
It's if the monkey was just bad at everything, and they're still like, oh God, he's got a lot of heart.
I found, like, one of my favorite things is, like, every state fair is kind of regional. Like, I mean, clearly they're regional, but I mean, like, they have their own regional traditions at them. It's not uniform. Yeah. It's not like a TGI Fridays where you're all going to get the same kind of shit. So some of the ones that Charlene found that are fucking awesome is the Iowa State Fair and the Outhouse race. And that is just fucking sick. And it's exactly what you think it is. And the There's this one at the Alaska State Fair. You can win this as a classic Alaskan pastime and the giant cabbage growing contest. And there is a picture of the guy who grew the biggest one, and it's 136 pounds. It's like a little less than my legs.
That's a lot of slaw.
What do you do with something like that?
Slaw bath.
Oh God,
I love slaw,
and I love. There's just like it's just like the Kansas State Fair, the duct tape making contest, like just making shit out of duct tape. All of this shit is fucking great.
Well, people die on the rides. We can't overlook. We need to address the bad. That okay. People die on the rides. I don't think we need to dwell.
The good and the bad portion of this show was just taken up about our excitement for a monkey riding a dog.
I have to go back to more of that. But so listen, people die on the rides. If you wouldn't trust the guy running the ride to just maybe change the oil in your car, why are you trusting him to maintain the ride properly? That's a risk you assume. Sorry to be cold about it. Okay. PrimateSanctuaries.org has a fact sheet about cowboy acts it's abusive to the primates. Now,
go on.
They say it's the dogs can reach speeds up to 30 miles an hour and abruptly stop, start, turn, lie down, doing stuff to make the monkey bounce around too much.
Is that
I don't know.
It sounds very scientific.
I'm paraphrasing, so it agrees to my side.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They say it's frightening.
Just taking the middle dot out.
It's frightening to the monkeys. It's like they're just saying like the monkeys don't want to do it, but if they're like can get off whenever they want. Capuchins are small but dangerous monkeys who can be aggressive and have been involved in numerous escapes and attacks. During cowboy monkey events, the monkey is not under the control of a handler. The public would be at risk if a monkey got loose from the dog, or if a dog became startled, frightened, or distracted and charged off the field. This is making it more enticing.
I want to see
the dog got loose with the monkey. That's just a Bonnie and Clyde story for the ages. This is everything we want.
God damn it! I actually would love to see that too. How much damage could that little chip
I know
do
this is the Humane Society, but I don't know. Like, you're really not coming up with a lot of, like, super bad things.
I know. I want to see it too.
Like, that's the whole point. If the monkey can just jump off the dog at any time and be a wild animal, and it's not.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving it freedom. Hey, monkey, do you want to be free? Here's your friend. He can run faster than any person alive. And here's an open field. You're giving these animals free will, and they return.
That's what they say about people coming to the state fair every year, too. We're giving them free will. They come back every year. These fucking...
They say about work release programs with prisoners. They do a lot of butter sculpting at these state fairs.
Yeah. The Minnesota State Fair in particular, the country dairy princesses vie for the title Princess K of the Milky Way. The winner, chosen for her knowledge of the dairy industry, personality, and enthusiasm for promoting dairy, becomes a goodwill ambassador for Minnesota's 4,000 dairy farmers and is immortalized with a statue of her face carved out of butter. And they are remarkable in the resemblance of the person.
I miss the fairs, like when you would just get small amounts, like the Taste of Melrose Park and stuff that I would go to in the greater Chicagoland area. The whole point of that was more for like the restaurant. It wasn't like farms, but it was like more the restaurants of the community would have all these booths. So you'd get you would get a sample size of what all these restaurants offered. And that's what I liked, because state fairs is just like, here's a giant turkey leg.
Yeah, you get this the thing you're eating today.
Suck.
Yeah.
But this was like, oh, this place is an Italian restaurant, but here's a little square lasagna to try. This place has brats, but like here's like a half a brat or something.
Yeah.
I really miss that part of trying all the different foods.
It's kind of like a very inefficient version of tapas, like in the small.
Community tapas, more or less.
Yeah, I love it, man. Fucking what is it? The funnel cakes? Is that like the
funnel cakes, elephant ears? You betcha.
Yeah. Yeah. We would go to outside of Chicago.
Skeet it out dough right into the hot fryer.
Yeah. They would call like we used to be part of the North. My mom was from Ireland, like you know that, but like there was the North Texas Irish Association for like Irish. You know, they would all like hang out or whatever.
Okay.
But they had a festival every year and it would function as a fair, and they would just call it. This was like how I knew it was kind of bullshit because it would just be like instead of calling it funnel cake, they'd be like it's Irish lace cake, and I was like, well, it looks fucking exactly the same. But that's the poetry and the soul of the Irish to call it a lace cake. That
sounds better than funnel cake. Well, we done poured the batter through this here funnel, twirled around over the grease.
Yeah,
and elephant ear is slightly different. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I have you ever had like the deep fried like Dr. Pepper or any of that kind of shit?
Elephant ear is just fully flat. It's not like a swirl of dough.
Okay.
The deep fried stuff, believe it or not, never.
Not too much of a thing.
I don't remember like going for it at those places. I don't remember like the deep fried Twinkies and shit like that. It was always like, okay, I'll watch somebody eat it, but I just never. Weirdly enough, you would think I of all people would be like, I gotta have that, and I never. I don't remember indulging in that stuff when I was at these things.
I'm sure I've tried some of. I know I tried deep fried Coca-Cola once.
How is that done?
I think they freeze a can. My understanding is that they freeze a can, right, and then they cut the can off, and then they batter it.
It's eggs. Oh, they make it into like a dough ball. That's the thing. See, that's the thing. All this stuff is just batter. It's never like how they deep fry that. We turned it into batter, then we deep fried it. It's never. It's always a lie. It's always just dough. It's always just the cheapest shit you could whip up. But we made it with Coke. We made it with this stuff.
Yeah,
deep fried. Go fuck yourself. Like it's all the same thing.
How's this sound to you? The great balls of barbecue, smoked and shredded brisket. Mixed with Bach barbecue sauce, laced with a German-style lager, deep fried until golden, then served with its own pipette of Bach barbecue sauce to inject a pipette. You inject it with more barbecue sauce after it's fried in the ball. That sounds fucking
injected food.
That's pretty.
I don't know. This is great. This is just from Google search for what does deep fried Coke taste like? It tastes like a donut hole, but with a noticeable Pepsi undertone. What the fuck? Coke. It's Coke. It's deep fried Coke, you morons. Hey, it's deep fried Coke tastes like Pepsi. I want my money back.
Oh my God.
Isn't that an argument somebody had to deal with at customer service of a state fair, I bet you.
There's a pork parfait at the Indiana State Fair, and I'm looking at its Instagram right now.
Pork parfait. Pork fay. Is it just like pate, or is less like spreadable pork? Because I'll tell you, I love a Braunschweiger. I love a liverwurst. So it might be in the phrasing that makes it sound gross.
I remember one of the first times we hung out, you called liverwurst an underrated meat.
It's great. It's a fantastic food. Also, I bet you'd get more hits on Pornhub for pork parfait than you would on Google.
Yes, I bet you're right. But it just looks like maybe it looks like a parfait. Oh my God, it's sick. It looks awesome. It's like barbecue sauce. I just wonder what they're doing if they're actually doing
pork.
Yeah, it's pulled pork, but that's not actually yogurt in there, is it?
That's probably mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then it's just
mashed potatoes, beans, coleslaw.
Yeah, it's fine.
They just put your plate of barbecue and they put it in a jar.
Yeah, Delaware has scrapple sandwiches at their state fair, which can go fuck it. Oh God,
I've heard of the scrapple.
Charlene, you picked the worst fucking picture on purpose for this scrapple sandwich. Oh God,
is it? And it's what? It's like the leavings, right?
Yeah, and they kind of form it into
grill leavings.
Yeah, and they form it into a loaf, and then you serve it in slices. It's fucking disgusting. Well, everyone, we'll be right back. Well, everyone, we're back. That was a rousing round of the good and bad, wouldn't you say, Kinane?
Listen, I'm sorry that I've been derailed by dog riding monkeys and testicle consumption. But this is what the state fair.
Podcast.
This is what the state fair does. Is it brings these experiences.
It's very true. You're not going to get to see this shit all the time, so it does bring this like kind of maybe it's a little bit of a freak
curiosity.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm still pro state fair even after all the disgusting testicle talk. Gross. But we want to know what you guys think. So this is the part of the show where we hear from you, the listeners, and your calls. So please, Charlene, play the first voicemail.
What's new, pussycat? Kitty Cat Kyle and Shane the cat. I don't know. My parents decided that it would be a fun vacation to go to Oklahoma. I don't get it either, but I was 8 and we went to a state fair and they had deep fried rattlesnake and that changed who I was. It's the very foundation of my being because I am 50 pounds overweight. So yeah, state fair food. I'm from Utah and the only thing we have is what's called Navajo tacos, which is just tacos, but instead of like shells or tortillas, they use flatbread. And then some people put gravy on it, which is pretty good, but it's no deep fried rattlesnake. All right. See you later, meow meow. Kitty kitty meow meow. From the kitty cat box. I'm taking a shit and some dust and sharpening my claws. Love you guys.
Oh, boy.
This guy fucking rules.
First off, that's why you went to Oklahoma for fun, is because you're from Utah.
Yeah, that's...
50 pounds overweight, in my head, it's just from deep fried rattlesnake. Like, the fact that he's still overweight, even though he has to hunt all these rattlesnakes, proves how much he loves deep fried rattlesnake. Yeah. That's the story I've made in my head.
Yeah, I guess if we're going to say one thing negative about state fairs, like the dietary options are never reasonable.
No.
Yeah.
Never like... but
Diet
Coke
is the healthiest thing you can put in your body. Then
if fried Diet Coke is the healthiest, can you give me fried Diet Coke? Can you fry the Diet Coke, please? 50 just from deep fried rattlesnakes spun this guy out. All right,
I think he's working on some other things too, but I'll give it to him.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, you're a good little kitten, and thanks for coming to the scratching post.
I'll quit this whole fucking show.
My name is Valerie. I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And I think the state fair you have to be in the right mood for. But when you go, fried food is amazing. That's, fried dough. It's a huge excuse to eat all that kind of stuff. The people watching is insane. I like going to the flower show. It's kind of fun to see the big pumpkins and all that kind of stuff. But really, I think it's the fried food personally for me that does it. And the people watching is definitely very interesting. Thank you.
Well, I'll say I think this woman does whatever keeps carnival drivers up all night because that was so fast. Jesus.
The right mood. Think about, so hookups, when we went to it was the county fair we went to. But it all the PTSD of being a child and a junior high school kid of so and so's here and she's with so and so and they said they think you're cute. Watching that unfold as an adult was very entertaining.
Oh, you noticed it?
Oh yeah, watching all the cliques of teens and stuff moving around. It was kind of fun to watch as an adult. I know it. You gotta talk to them. They're gonna go.
That's pretty cute.
The people watching was great.
And then you
imagine
the one kid with a pencil thin mustache is just just dirty,
some creepery.
Yeah. He's like, let's go on the Ferris wheel, Bethany.
But I think that imagine getting dumped at a state fair.
Oh. I have ridden a Ferris wheel alone. That's pretty sad.
Nothing could be less surprising than you saying that. Was it at Bratfest?
No, it was at a Cabela's in Wisconsin. I think that's where I was.
What? You just...
It was just
did
indoor.
You, like... Indoors?
Yeah, I
didn't think the story could get sadder. So you rode a small Ferris wheel.
If you want to know the truth,
alone.
there was a shirt I really liked, but it was too small, and I bought it, and now it's just hanging in my closet. It was a motivational shirt, and I still haven't gotten into it. So if you want me to make it sadder, there you go. Also hilarious.
How did you find a shirt too small at a Cabela's?
I think
in Wisconsin. And if you were too small for the shirt, how'd you qualify to ride an indoor Ferris wheel?
Anything
Got
else?
so many questions right now, man. I'm sorry.
Whatever you fucking did. Next caller. You moody old bastard. Sorry, you've never had the challenges I've had in life.
I thought getting dumped at a state fair would be the saddest thing, and you just came in and knocked that out of first place by a mile.
Yeah, I'm a person with real feelings, and you just...
Then don't share that story with people. I was too fat for a shirt from a sporting goods store in Wisconsin, so I rode an indoor Ferris wheel by myself. Jesus, thank God you didn't make it over to the gun counter. Don't sell that guy a gun. He already looks like he's going to jump off the Ferris wheel. Maybe we do need stricter gun laws. This guy looks bummed out. Somebody going back and find him a shirt that fits. He's going to drown himself in the trout pond.
Oh, let's do another call. Let's see what we got.
Meow meow, talking about state fairs. I think state fairs are perfect for people who have gotten old enough to realize that you should always keep your expectations on life low. Yeah, you're not going to get any great gourmet food, but a fried stick of butter once a year is not going to kill you. And you can finally get around to seeing Boys to Men. Yeah, they're missing a member now, but it's still going to be okay. Yeah, state fairs are great. Cheers.
Meow meow. Thank you very much.
100%. 100%.
Well, we didn't talk about the acts. That is something like the entertainment.
The lost member reunion shows.
Oh my God in heaven, dude! We were on tour, and I was on the bus with Bert, and we pulled in. There was another tour bus, and it was the Oak Ridge Boys. And I was like, "Oh man!" And then, sure enough, there was a fucking state fair happening in town. Fucking great.
It was okay. That's what it was. Addison, the town I'm from, I think it was 4th of July, but they had a little carnival around it, and they had Steppenwolf, but it had to be John K's Steppenwolf because the other guys clearly broke off, so legally he couldn't advertise himself as
like the Whalers thing where there's 9 different members of the Whalers. Yeah,
so it clearly had to be like, ooh, John K's Steppenwolf.
Isn't that so funny? Because when you have you ever done a tech conference or gig or where you've done stand up or any kind of private conference kind of thing where they hired you to do stand-up?
You're the hired entertainment.
Yeah,
I've been in situations like that. Sure.
Yeah, I did one for some tech conference in South Carolina for some company. They all showed up, and then we did stand up, and then the Whalers were the music, and it was. Yeah. It was one guy who played with Bob Marley once, so they were the American Whalers or whatever, very. But isn't it weird that state fairs are considered this kind of trashy thing, by a lot of people, but they get the same entertainment book that fucking whatever .com company Survey Monkey or any of the or MailChimp or any of these kind of places they get they have the exact same budget for entertainment. And the state fair is going to be way more. Yeah.
Well, we've all participated in some form or another in NACA, which is the college conference to determine which acts get to work at colleges. So colleges, for people that don't know, colleges have a set amount of money and an organization that books just the entertainment for that college. And there's brackets.
Yeah, there is
definitely brackets.
Yeah.
And you could tell Rib Fest in Naperville. they'll get like Joan Jett or somebody. Like, oh shit, Naperville, they're spilling cash all over that rib fest. Addison, John K's Steppenwolf.
I'm telling you, buddy, I did the aeronautical college in some aeronautical college in Florida for a college gig. It was me and the All-American Rejects, and we both could have been seen playing indoor or outdoor at a variety of places.
It's if they still put on a show, if they are still putting on a show, I'm all for it. Like I love, like, we watched, it was like an acoustic guy doing covers, making like a bunch of older single moms all horny at the state fair, the county fair we went to here. There was a hypnotist that was straight, got to watch a hypnotist, like get all the people on stage. Awesome. It was like, and we're sitting with people that are getting called up, trying to see if it's an act, trying to see what it is.
Yeah.
Good. I love it. Money well spent there.
I
don't remember.
I want to see a guy play an acoustic version of Fuel's Shimmer and have it be pretty bad. Yeah. It's good. I
want to do this. I want to do this over some caramel corn.
All right. Let's get to the next one, please.
Hey, Charlene. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Shane. Okay, so I'm going to keep this very brief. State fairs. I think I'm totally going yes. I think it's quintessential Americana. The food is an umbrella in its own. The rides are so fun, albeit a little scary and dodgy how they're set up, but I'm totally in favor of state fairs. I think they're so cute. And no to-dos. All right, bye, guys.
I get it. Yeah, so I guess the only thing she might have a problem with is the animals. But
yeah, the animal. Yeah,
just a very pro.
She seems like she's going. She seems like she's enjoying it from a bit of an ironic standpoint.
Maybe, or maybe she just likes the what's the word? The Rockwellianness of it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I kind of enjoy it. I'm
trying to take it in. I think I'd probably take them in from both sides, and then also from the gluttony side of it.
There's a mix of laughing at the gluttony and then tasting some of the gluttony and be like, I'm all for gluttony.
Yeah, very much so. Do we have anything else, Shar? Two more.
I just wanted to call in and say I think state fairs are fucking awesome because nothing there's technically designed to kill you, but everything there absolutely can. Whether it's the food, the rides, probably some of the games, everything there can totally end you today, but they're not technically designed to do it, and that's fucking amazing.
It's like the jungle. That is a great way to look at it.
It
is death around every corner.
That's a real 360 view of everything that guy has. Like, what do all these things have in common? Danger.
That should. You know what? I bet that makes the deep fried food taste a little bit better too. Like that. Oh, that death is imminent. Why not? It is truly a you only live once.
Yeah.
Feeling at a state fair. This guy nailed it.
He fucking.
I like it. Thank you.
Let's get to the last one.
All right. So state fairs. A lot of the opinions that people have about state fairs are from people who have never been to a state fair. Do you know who doesn't like fried butter? Someone who's never eaten fried butter. It is quite delightful. As somebody who grew up in East Central Iowa, you can find a fried butter stick, you put it in your mouth, and you're not going to feel bad till the next day. The state fairs give you a chance to win something, even if your dog's real bad.
All right,
the dog would jump out of a screen window.
This is what it sounds like when you're trying to prove to a cop you're not too drunk to drive. Here's a list of why I'm okay to drive. You find car keys and you can get them in the ignition. Means you're good to go. The car's good to go.
Where's my license? Where's your badge? Look.
Yeah. Tit for tat, sir.
Look, that's how it works.
My dog would jump out of a screen window if the wind blew wrong, but did he take home blue ribbon? Yes, Ben did. His name was Ben. That wasn't clear. I think state fair is good old-fashioned fun. They don't charge you anything to get in. There's no service fee to go to a fair. That's great. Tickets affordable for everybody. Maybe some people shouldn't be there, but it's their right to assemble, I guess. I don't think this is constitutional. State fairs, I'm for them. But just go to a state fair and make a whole weekend out of it. You can gawk at people like you or, I don't know, anywhere else you are usually.
Oh.
It's for gawkers, state fairs.
That guy's definitely been kicked out of state fairs.
That was awesome.
How about $20 and you let me run the tilt-a-whirl the way I want to?
I don't even know what to say for that guy. Oh God, sounds like he's on sounds like he's on Oxy. But other than that,
bless your heart.
That was great.
I'll say bless your heart and thank you you seem like the guy I want to see enjoying a state fair.
Yeah, I also
you are the guy
work
that
in
is
constitutionalism into this.
We got there. He's the guy who wants to hear John Kay's new stuff from Steppenwolf. Hey man,
he's a visionary.
I liked your newest album, man. I'm here for it.
Oh my God, that was fucking awesome.
This is a hell of an this is a marathon episode.
It is, yeah. It's a little bonus.
My apologies for straying off on topics, but if you can't
go with the flow on the pod, baby.
If a straight white dude can't wander off topic on a podcast, where can he wander off topic on?
Good point, Kyle. Well, I think
what with this cancel culture and everything.
I think thanks to Charlene and our callers, we really kind of got a 360 view of this whole state fair thing. I'm pretty thrilled about it.
Thanks for supporting free speech, man.
I came into this positive. I stay at it positive. The animal thing makes me a little concerned, but other than that, it's fucking killer. What a time. Chimps riding dogs
these
and
animals,
testicle eating.
Yeah. They should treat these animals nicer before we eat them.
Yeah, that's my sound logic at the end of it. You want to sign us out?
I'm just excited about it. State fairs. Who knows? Maybe a live podcast from a state fair one of these days.
That way, I've done radio at one. It was bad. I can't believe I got to. That's a shocker, though. But yeah, maybe we'll do the next live No Accounting for Taste coming to you from the Iowa State.
Live from the top of a Ferris wheel, so Shane won't be alone. It's No Accounting for Taste.
Tune in again next week when we defend solitude. At least it gives you time to think. This has been No Accounting for Taste on the All Things Comedy Network, Bill Burr's propaganda machine.